Welcome back to Chris and Retro. Today's video is going to be about indications and prevention of troubles that could come your way. I've My life recently, I've been seeing a lot of things that happen to me that over time can cause me a lot of problems. And one of those things is my um, accumulation of areas where I feel like I'm being wronged, or circumstances that are making me aggravated, then they layer on something else that makes me aggravated as well. And I've got a series of events that have come up recently. I've got some issues that have come up in the work environment. I've got some issues with an ex-wife from 14 years ago. I've got some issues with current friends that are going through some stuff. I start layering all that together and I start making the collective case that things are horrible. And so what I do by then is I'll start isolating, getting angry and all that. Recently, and I say recently, it's been probably several months now. I kind of lost sight of all those indicators that were coming up, and I generally was going with this operating assumption that things were being done to me, and that my mind was telling me that I could, I didn't have to address anything within me. It was just the season I had to grit it out. Kind of along the lines of what we talked about in Brian Yates's video. It served me no purpose to bottle it. It really did, and it didn't serve me any purpose of benefit to grit it out and go through it, because quite honestly, it was not something that was going to go away. These were, my mind had already determined that these were stacked against me and that they were things I had to fight past. And doing that, I'll easily be like a magnet and collect everything else into the pile and make it worse, make my situation worse, make my life seem more bleak than it actually is. So, um, the culmination that can lead for me, a ton of trouble. Recently I've run into a situation with somebody I'm close with that has not gone through any preventative measures that are of any substance whatsoever. Lip service works really well to get through a conversation, well-meaning intentions. I've talked on the show before about I will versus I want to. I want to makes a great conversation to get through a bad moment, but I will requires days when trustworthy and integrity and all those things are going to happen in the dark, even in the light. They don't just happen when they're in front of accountability. They're happening all the time. I know from my own life where things got most sideways is when my silent life is far different than my outward life. When those two things are not in synergy, I struggle. You'll see it in my energy. You probably even sense it in my energy today, because behind this camera, there's a lot going on that I'm now recognizing. There are things that are well within my control, but there's doesn't mean the circumstance is fixed. It just means that my course is correcting and I understand a path I need to take. Now, the circumstance with my friend and circumstances with others is that in this I want to state, it invariably progresses. Now, for some, they may be so good at I want to and might sort of want to a lot. They can protract that season a lot longer to destruction, but it almost always ends in a circumstance that you didn't really hope would happen, because I want to does not work. I will has a lot of different things to it. This video is kind of taking a slant towards that conversation again, but I think it's important because I will does not mean that you have to have the willpower to go through. You do have to have grit to deal with certain things, but it doesn't mean that you have to have grit every single day. We talked about first responders and veterans and things like that. They're in an environment that requires them to just suck it up and move forward. And that actually isn't going to work for anybody. I will says that I'm also going to take an inventory of my actual state in a day, be concerned about how I'm behaving as indicators and leading indicators of where I might be headed. For me, the burning of the bridge and burning of the whole entire village and destroying my life happens months before it actually happens. It's when it's there, when I try to do something about it, that I've already got so much cleanup that has been happening over and over and over again. And in fact, many cases, people around me probably already saw it coming. I would encourage you, as one of the things that you may want to consider, and I've done this in my own life, is stripping away all of what you're feeling and knowing about your current situation and get to the basics of what you have within your control and what you don't. Start there. Be honest about it. Be honest about those resentments and those things that you have towards other people, and realize and put them in the right place, as if they are really anything functional for you to get a life that's more serene and more in a better place than where you are today. For me, I found a conflict between my current attitudes and behaviors and my focus on my circumstances to be derailing my purpose and what I believe to be I'm called to do, and that's work like this, where I get reach out to you, share with you my lessons I've learned, and hopefully lead at least one to a better option and better day. I don't have all the answers, and I'm certainly not certified in anything of clinical nature. I'm just exploring life and seeing certain things that have been problematic for me, and they lead to future problems. I'm seeing it in other people's lives, and in stark contrast, I found two things play out every single time. I want to and I will are two completely different mindsets. Your mindset of I want to allows for a lot of excuses why you're going to keep doing the nonsense you're doing. I want to allows me to build people around me as reasons why I'm in a bad state. It allows me to build resentments around me to say, this is why I'm in a bad state. People won't help me. People ignore me. This is going on. This is going on, whatever. Where the rubber meets the road is I will. When I shed I want to, and I will becomes my determined cry and my absolute declaration of my march forward, everything changes. Now I'm going on an I will road. And it's not that I'm starting fresh. It's that I'm going through a new season of challenges based using the tools that I've developed over the years. And I'm trying to find a way to affect change in my life that aligns me with my purpose and where the next level of my work is. At the same time, I do need to address these new environments that are around me that are causing me some problems and some pain. And with that determination, that my objective for one thing, and that is to match up, align with what I believe I'm here on earth to do, all other things start to make sense. I will says I'll go through every bad feeling, every bad moment, and I will not waver, and I will stick to my principles and what I stand for in the first place, no matter what, no matter where, no matter how, no matter why. Always. I want to allows for compromise, allows for you to have situational ethics. Thanks for tuning into this video. If you're going through a season where everything around you just doesn't seem like it's working out real well for you, try not focusing on the season you're going through. Focus on the tools within you. Find some loyal partners that you want to come alongside, that want to come alongside you. And if you don't have anybody, reach out to me. I'll see what I can do to help plug you in with somebody. But there are times when we can't find anybody that'll support us, and that usually drives us in deeper. That's where the spiritual component comes in for sure. You'll know for sure if spiritually you're aligned with something that can actually have your back through these dark times. I had to go through a serious inventory of where my attitudes were, where my direction was, the efforts aligning with my I will attitude, or where I really just saying I want to do these things and not putting the work in. If you're truthful with yourself in the quietness of your own head or in the quietness of your own time, and you write it down, you'll find some baffling realizations that you can correct, and you can make a big difference for yourself even within the first 24 hours, even just in a mindset alone. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make some progress towards your goals. Move your trajectory from I want to that allows for excuses to I will, and that you'll go to any length to get what you're looking for. Between now and then, now and the next time we speak, make progress on that work. And by all means, please stay out of trouble.